ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ jùmọ̀ kọ orin ilẹ̀ Yorùbá àwa ni ògo adúláwọ̀.
Fire. ìwọ ni ògo adúláwọ̀. Ẹ káàbọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa káàkiri orígun mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin àgbáláyé. Ní àṣálẹ́ yìí bàbá mo ní kàlẹ́ o, bàbá Àjàlá pa Alex Àjàlá. Ṣùgbọ́n kí n tó fi ojú àlejò mi hàn, mo fẹ́ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run ọba tó ń fi ojoojúmọ́ dára tuntun. Àwọn onígbàgbọ́ wọn ní his mercy is new every morning. Nítorí pé àánú rẹ̀ kò ní pẹ̀kun, ní ojoojúmọ́ ni ó máa ń pọ̀ sí. Ìlú Èkìtì rally tí wọ́n ṣe ń bẹ̀ lénìí rally kan ló yẹ kó jẹ́ o, ṣùgbọ́n ó ṣe mí láàánú pé Ekiti rally was divided into two. Wow. You guys think I was just making noise? At least you've seen the effect of this problem bit by bit. Ekiti rally was divided into two for selfish reason. Mr. Abdul Aziz, send me a message on WhatsApp and I will forward the audio to you right away. Send me a message on WhatsApp and I will send you the thing on WhatsApp. Ekiti rally, one town or one state, but two rallies in the same place. One fraction was there, another fraction was there. Be careful, because if you don't stop it now, it's going to go beyond what we can think of. It will go beyond what we can think of. Sorry, I have another program ongoing there. That's why I keep nipping to see it, so that to know when it finishes, I can actually stop it. This is Heritage Multimedia. Well, if you have a look at it, we might probably get to speak to Baba Lekiti quickly. Àwọn ló wà on the ground pẹ̀lú àwọn èèyàn mi. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n jí bàbá lẹ̀ tí bàbá ò bá ti sùn, wọ́n ti ṣe gbogbo wàhálà gidi gan lénìí. Ṣùgbọ́n síbẹ̀síbẹ̀ Ọlọ́run àánú á gbà fún gbogbo wa, á rí ṣe ní agbára Ọlọ́run. Níjọ́ Saturday tó ń bọ̀ yìí rally yẹn máa lékú nítorí pé ibi tẹ́ ẹ̀ lérò pé rally ti máa spring up ní agbára Ọlọ́run ọba tó láyé àti ọ̀nà Ọlọ́run gbogbo èdè ni. Ibi tẹ́ ẹ̀ lérò rárá pé rally ti máa spring up, ibẹ̀ gógógógán ni rally ti máa spring up ní ìjọ Saturday tó ń bọ̀ yìí. Mo fi orúkọ bo bẹ̀ ní àṣírí nítorí pé nígbà míì ohun tá a bá bò ló máa ń níyì, ohun tí a bá bò ló máa ń níyì. Kí n tó gbé bàbá Àjàlá wọlé, ẹ jẹ́ kí n wo bóyá bàbá yìí gbogbo orin tán rìn lénìí, bàbá àgbàlagbà, bóyá gbogbo orin tán rìn lénìí, bóyá ó ti rẹ̀ wọ́n rẹpẹtẹ, bóyá kò dẹ̀ rẹ̀ wọ́n rẹpẹtẹ. Ká wò bóyá bàbá ti lo paracetamol àbí panadol àbí panasharp ni bàbá dẹ̀ lò ní. Ká wo nǹkan tí wọ́n lè bá a sọ, ṣùgbọ́n ó dàbí pé bàbá ti sùn. Tí wọ́n bá pè wá padà wá ní wọ́n rí wa ní tí wọ́n bá pè wá padà bóyá àárí bí ó ṣe lọ. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run ọba tó jẹ́ kí gbogbo nǹkan lọ déédéé láyọ̀ àti àlàáfíà, ọba tí ò dojú àdúrà sí wa. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n gbé bàbá wọlé ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò náà ní parawu, nítorí pé mo ti pè wọ́n, mi ìgbúrò wọn, mo ti pè bàbá Lẹ́kìtì nísìnyí. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n try aago wọn kejì. Ok, ìkejì àkọ́kọ́ dún, ìkejì náà dún, bọ̀ síbẹ̀síbẹ̀ ìrìn yẹn pọ̀. Pé tí èèyàn bá ṣe rálì ó máa ń rìnyàn ni, táwọn bá ṣe rálì gba gbogbo ẹsẹ̀ máa ròyàn. Bí bàbá ò tí ì rìn gbogbo adúrún yẹn níbi ọdún mélòó kan sẹ́yìn, àwa kó wọn sí ìrìn lénìí. Bàbá Lẹ́kìtì. Ẹ̀lẹ́mbẹ̀ iṣẹ́ ti sùn ní. Àwa ọmọ Yorùbá ti lò yín yọ.
Mo ti bá káwọn.
Ẹ pẹ̀lẹ́, Ọlọ́run á gbà fún wa. Ojú òní tiwa.
Bàbá mi heritage.
Olórí.
Kò ní bá jẹ fún yín sá.
Àmì àṣẹ Èdùmàrè.
Yes sir.
Àmì àṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àmì àṣẹ Èdùmàrè.
Yes sir.
Wọ́n ní 2 rallies, 1 town.
Ẹni. Mi gbọ́ lẹ́sìn sá.
Wọ́n ní 2 rallies, 1 town.
Okay.
Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀?
Ta ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ sá?
Information táwọn èèyàn yín fún mi náà nìyẹn o. ṣé ẹ fẹ́ sọ pé ní bóyá ká sọ létà.
ọmọ yẹn ló tún dá ìlú sí méjì.
Bọ̀ tọba náà la máa ṣe síbẹ̀síbẹ̀.
so padà wá sí débẹ̀.
àbí ẹ ti gbàgbé orin yẹn ẹ ti gbàgbé orin yẹn ìlú dá méjì tọba la wá ó ṣe ìlú dá méjì tọba la wá ó ṣe àbí ṣùgbọ́n síbẹ̀síbẹ̀ adúpẹ́ pé lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run pé a ṣàṣeyọrí. Olúwa ṣeun fún àánú rẹ̀ tí kò ní pẹ̀kún, àánú rẹ̀ dúró láéláé. Ọba aláàánú ni ọba wa, Ọlọ́run á dẹ̀ gbàdúrà wa. Ẹ ṣé bàbá, ẹ má jẹ́ ká fi ọ̀pá pọ̀lọpọ̀lọ péjò nítorí pé àánú Ọlọ́run la rí gbà ní gbogbo ọ̀nà. Lálẹ́ yìí a ní bàbá wa, bàbá Pa Alex Ajala, tí mo fẹ́ kí jọ̀kanjọ̀kan kẹgbẹ́ ọ wá sí orí ètò yín pàápàá so kí ẹ lè ṣe é ṣe kó lè ṣe é ṣe. Ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi ní ilé ẹjọ́ ẹ fún mi ní ìṣẹ́jú kan péré. Ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi ṣe mọ̀ pé a ń ṣe ọ̀túnṣòsì àbábí kọ́kọ́. Ọlọ́run á gbà fún wa ní gbogbo ọ̀nà, ọba láàánú kò ní jójú tẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká bá bàbá wa sọ̀rọ̀, wọ́n ti wà ní kalẹ̀ pẹ̀lú wa ní ìhàyín gẹ́gẹ́ bí àwa èèyàn ṣe máa ń sọ. Bàbá ẹ káalẹ́ sà.
Ẹ káalẹ́ o.
Ṣé dáadáa lé wa?
Ẹ kú gbogbo ẹ kú àgbọ́yé, ẹ kú ọjọ́ òní. Aago 12 tẹ̀ ti kọjá báyìí, Sunday la wà báyìí. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn tó ń dúró láti gbọ́ àwọn nǹkan tí a fẹ́ sọ ní alẹ́ yìí. Ibi tó bá ti jẹ́ alẹ́, ibi tó jẹ́ òwúrọ̀, ibi tó jẹ́ ọ̀sán, ibi tí ó jẹ́ ìrọ̀lẹ́, mo kí gbogbo yín bí bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe jókòó, bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe fẹ́ tílẹ̀. Etí gbogbo wa náà ni, àti tèmi náà, èmi náà fẹ́ tílẹ̀ ni, torí kan náà ni wá bí ṣe máa ń sọ. Ẹ ṣé gan ni tẹ́ fi lè dúró dìbò àsìkò yìí. Ẹ ṣé púpọ̀.
Bàbá lẹ́nìí wọ́n ní ìkan nínú àwọn bàbá wa, wọ́n ní gbogbo àwọn tá à ń ṣe kínní pé oníranù ni wá. Ṣé tòótọ́ ni àbí báwo lẹ́yìn ṣe rí sí?
Ẹ má jẹ́ àfọ̀rọ̀ ìbẹ̀rẹ̀, òun láyé ká fi parí.
Ok.
Mo mọ ẹja ẹ̀ sọ.
Ẹ láwọn ètò kan tẹ́ fẹ́ sọ fún wa, ẹ láwọn ọ̀rọ̀ kan tẹ́ fẹ́ sọ fún wa, ẹ gbóhùn sókè bàbá wa.
Mo mọ ẹja ẹ̀ sọ, mo mọ ẹni yẹn dáadáa. Ẹni tó ti sọ wípé mi ò fẹ́ kó nǹkan lẹ̀ fún àwọn láti lò náà ni, kì í ṣe ẹni àjòjì sí mi. Àìmọ̀ ló jẹ́ kán máa sọ bẹ́ẹ̀, àìmọ̀ ni. Ẹni tó bá jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá gidi tó bá mọ̀ tán, ipòkípò tán bá fún, ó yẹ kó mọ rántí ọmọ tó ń ṣe. Ó yẹ kó mọ rántí ọmọ tí ibi tó ti wá, orílẹ̀-èdè ibi tó ti wá, èdè tí wọ́n mọ̀ mọ́, kì í ṣe èdè ẹ̀sìn, èdè abínibí ni. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ máa ń ṣe àwọn nǹkan láì mọ nǹkan tó yẹ kán ṣe. Ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n la máa pè é, gbogbo ló fi fìlà ọgbọ́n ẹ̀sìn tó bá fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè ibi tó ń ti wá. Nàìjíríà kì í ṣe orílẹ̀-èdè ibi tó ti wá, a kàn bára wa nínú Nàìjíríà nítorí àwọn ẹbí wa yòókù wà ní Benin àti Togo. Bí Ọlọ́run ṣe jàpèjúwe ní geographical expression, àwa kan wọ́n gbé wa sínú ibi tó ń pè ní Nàìjíríà, àwa kan wọ́n gbé wa síbi tó ń pè ní Benin àti Togo. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ ni àwọn ẹ̀yà tó kù tí a bára wa nínú kan tó ń jẹ́ Nàìjíríà. Ọjà náà mà dálẹ̀ fún. Ǹjẹ́ bàbá ìmọ̀ pé bó ṣe rí nìyẹn. Èmi fẹ́ bí ṣé àwọn bàbá wa wà níbi tí wọ́n ti ṣèpàdé pé wọ́n fẹ́ dá Nàìjíríà lẹ̀. Èmi ò rí nǹkan tó ń rí mú nípa nǹkan tó ń fa ago ìlọsíwájú wa sẹ́yìn láti 1914 Tẹ́pẹ́rà Williams sọ, àwọn ẹlòmíín sọ. Àwọn èèyàn wa ò fẹ́ gbọ́, lọ́tẹ̀ yìí wọ́n á gbọ́ tó tán bá rántí pé wọ́n ń ṣe ara wọn náà ni wọ́n á gbọ́. Ẹ̀ ń ṣera yín, ẹ̀rù bẹ́ẹ̀ gbọ́n. Lórí àwọn kan náà, ẹnìkan tó lóun kàwé gbogbo ẹ̀ pé Ìgbòho kì í ṣe tí ó lè máa ṣàṣojú láti wá orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Ipa wo lòun kó nú ẹ̀ láti ìjọ tó ti jókòó sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ dẹ́sìkì tábìlì ẹ̀ àti àga tó jókòó sí? Kí ló rò tó gbé jáde káwọn aráyé gbọ́? Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ alákàwé, thousands if not millions of us are highly qualified, but are we using this knowledge to really find out what we are? I don't cry. I feel pity for all this waste. Ṣé nígbà kan wọ́n ní ṣe nǹkan kọ article kan ní wasted generation. Wasted generation gan náà ò interpret dáadáa. Mo máa ń follow ẹ̀ àti pàdé lẹ́ẹ̀mélòó kan rí tá a fẹsẹ̀ rìn láti station Road Street lọ sí meeting ní àdẹ́kọ́ láyé jọ̀hún. Bí ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀rẹ́ kan rántí ẹ̀ tó fọmọ ẹ̀ sínú pósìṣì àmọ́ méjì, ìkan ló tẹ̀lé mi, àwa jẹ́ mẹ́ta a lọ sí pàdé ní àdẹ́kọ́ ní street. Lẹ́nìkan á jáde tó lòun náà kàwé tó ti ṣe kíní olórí rí ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun. Ó sọ pé òun ò mọ ìtumọ̀ nǹkan tá à ń ṣe. Bóyá èdè ìbò ló sọ níbi ìpàdé tán ló lọ ní ilé sọ. Tó bá sọ Yorùbá ni làákàyè yẹn bóyá ẹ̀ bá kó sí lágbárí láti sòótọ́, láti sọ pé òun ò tí ì mọ̀ ń pẹ́ o, instead of making a judgment òun máa wádìí àtẹ̀gbà pé Ministers for Internal Affairs ni wọ́n mọ̀ọ́mọ̀ fi síbẹ̀ ni. Sátánà kò dúró sípò yẹn rí láti gbà Nàìjíríà tó ti ní àgbà independence. Internal Affairs ǹjẹ́ ó mọ̀ pé boundaries wa ti wà breached a long time ago? Kí ló ṣe sí? The security of our internal boundaries and everything were with him. Ǹjẹ́ ó mọ̀ pé the northern territories of that country, that's the way I address it. Ọ̀rọ̀ kan wà tí màá sọ lálẹ́ tí mo mọ̀ pé tí n bá ṣàlàyé àwọn èèyàn á mọ nǹkan tí mo sọ. The whole of the boundary of Nigeria with Niger and part of Chad has never been secured even before independence. People just walk in and out. How did I know? I was a young student with friends all over the place, and some of my friends were in Idiroko, as it was called then. Kan tó máa pè ní Sẹ̀mẹ̀-bọ́dà àti Sẹ̀mẹ̀-bọ́dà àti Idiroko ní òbí kan náà ni. Bí a torí pé wọ́n ṣe express sí Badagry express road tó lọ jámọ́ Benin. Wọ́n shift a little bit sókè. Wọ́n máa ń pè ní Sẹ̀mẹ̀-bọ́dà. Tó bá fẹ́ sinmi from the hectic work they do in the southern border towns, wọ́n ní gba posting sí border Sokoto, Katsina and all those border states. Our map, almost 8 of them have borders. Almost 8 of those states have borders with Niger. So it's easy. Àwọn kan máa ń jókòó ni táwọn èèyàn ń lọ tó ń bọ̀. I saw a recent picture of the Nigerian border. People just walking across. Àwọn ilé wà ní ẹnìkan jókòó sórí boundary pavement in Niger, ìkan jókòó sí boundary pavement in Nigeria. I think it's in circulation. If it's not, I will at some point bring it out as one of the deposition to the map of láti jáde. Mo sọ fún èèyàn gidi Adé Thomas pé map yẹn gbọ́dọ̀ jáde. We don't have a Nigeria as we are talking now. Tí ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ mi.
ọmọ yín.
Mo ti gbọ́, mo gbà bẹ́ẹ̀. Map yẹn máa jáde gbàràgàdà, and I'm going to publish it not only on this internationally, because this is a fact staring at us in the face. Ìlú yẹn ti were dissolved, kì í ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ pípín, ó ti were dissolved from since 2018, when he finally announced that Nigeria is an open border. You can come in, and when you come in, just get your visa and stay. That was on his return from Egypt, I believe. It is a sad thing that I cannot still imagine that Tawata is south of that border, who are originally southern Nigerians, southern protectorate of Nigeria. All the play on pen and paper to divide up those territories into what we eventually see as 17 states, or many states are there in the south, does not change the fact that southern Nigeria was different from northern Nigeria. And it's very prominent in the minds of the northerners, because by talking 12 states, if some of us elders will remember, the northerners said you can have new states, but us in the north, we are still going to keep our identity. And therefore, they had what we call Northern Nigeria Asset and Liability Organization, whatever it was. And then they retained Radio Kaduna shortwave to communicate with all their people from one end to the other, and including to West African Fulanis. You will notice all of them. I'm going to be very slow so that you can understand every little bit of the things I'm saying. They carry small pocket radios all around. Even those original ones that were Tombe or Paring, they were still part of the main game that is being played out now, because I have no more routes here. And I've defined to you the routes, the western corridor of that route from Badagry to Sokoto, straight on via Lalate, Erua Lalate, and all to Keho Gono, and to Kiama, and over the Kanji Dam Bridge. There's a bridge over the Kanji Dam, and then on to Sokoto and to Agungu, the festival that was held in 1976. That was an exploratory journey to see if that route is feasible. And unfortunately, that route passes through the land of the dams that are built to provide large square miles of irrigation waters for agriculture around Onyo Dam, and also Ikeregod Dam. The Ikeregod Dam was started by Obasanjo when, and the Onyo Dam too. The Onyo Dam was completed, and they had 9 megawatts of electricity generating capacity. It could have been more than that if they wanted to, and it could serve the whole of Ogun State with electricity if only increased. Same thing with the Achidire Dam. I've always been saying there's a deliberate act to underdevelop the West, but people don't see the picture I'm seeing. I don't know why. Run around and say they have generators, they load that duty yellow. That's underdevelopment. Do we have generators in our homes in Europe and America? Individual generators? That's crass underdevelopment. Will that run into industry or an assembly industry whereby you must have a continuous run of production? If you have a glitch of electricity at all, the whole batch will be spoiled. These are the basic elemental things that people should think when you are developing nations. We've not started development. We just see some houses and all that, Eco Atlantic and so on. How functional is that place? Where is the railway leading to the place? Maybe they will have made some sewage systems there. Where is the access? That place is just like what I would call Jigar in the midst of Lagos. It's an abscess, even though you see it as a modern thing. Does it have playgrounds? Open fields? What type of architecture is that? And you want to compare to Dubai. To me, it's a wretched development. Even though you see it as modern. Where are those things? And for one to now say that the Yoruba has no wisdom in trying to seek for its own freedom from the amalgam that was not supposed to be in the first place, or because you are Minister of Interior. What interior? Your Minister of Interior extends into the farthest boundaries of Niger, if you don't know, mister. Have you been to those places? We should be wise. We should not, because of personal interest, or even uninformed personal interest, I would say. It's not all about money. I'm not interested if you have stacked away billions. No, that doesn't interest me. I've always said that even if they lie, they could just uproot the central bank and put it in their backyard. But that's not the important to me as a Yoruba person. We can start our development afresh. And we can use our boys and girls, men and women, even children who are starting primary school, to kickstart a new revolution, pioneering development, starting from primary school. And our curriculum should reflect our needs immediately. Is it agriculture, processing, packaging, road building, railway slippers manufacturing, iron and steel, flat sheets, materials for industry? We have the capacity to do all this. I don't see why some of us will just sit at home or in their different offices all over the world and making so much money. I don't think about home. Don't think about the fact that the black race can become so great and be leader of innovation. Actually, most innovations worldwide were kickstarted by black brains. And if you narrow it down, most of these brains are predominantly Yorubas, because they are the ones built Tombini Peluoro. That's a fact. We are calling for the dissolution of an amalgam that has trapped these brains and have scattered them all over the world. And some people are saying that it's no. You are running away from your own self. How can you do that? You cannot run faster than yourself, or even your shadow. Your shadow will always follow you. Yobanye, 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 Yobanye. Kini ronu tie, for God's sake. You cannot tell me, or because you are a minister, you know who is talking. I had a 1.5 hour meeting with you in Southern Council, telling you about how to improve housing, integrated agriculture and housing development that could have benefited our people. You know who is talking. So I'm not hiding. I'm not hiding from anyone. Obasanjo himself, or anyone, even Buhari, I have commiserated with him when he was sick, and that I wish him well, and that when he goes back home, that when he spent the 100 days, that he should think of how to improve health service in Nigeria. Should be a high priority. Has it been? Yet to still be coming back to Britain. It's a shame that most of African leaders don't see that with a little twinkle of their fixed position and just think a little backwards. Look, what are my people suffering? This is a country where if someone is sick, he's dead because he will not be able to afford hospital bills. Yet there's money floating all over the place, paying so much huge this thing. There's no commitment. There's no passion to see that you have a country to take care of. Or what I see, the jamboree of people jumping up and down. Commissioner, House of Rep, Mundo next, and they help them to do horrible things to get into those places. All for what? And then you send all your children overseas. I'm here overseas because it's not about choice. It's not about the fact that, I'm not a British citizen, but home, beautiful home. We've left to rot in the hands of incapable people who can't think for their people. Our Lord gave us the best in terms of development. Free health, free education, rural development, agric institutions, trade centers, agricultural innovations, crisscrossing Christian cattle with our cattle, the Montoro cattle of certain rainforest area, even though the Sesefly was their bane that killed a lot of them, and which we could have stopped if we only looked out and see what Tanzania did to eradicate Sesefly, and the cattle is thriving. Yes, most of us educated ones blame the West every time for our problem. The problem is right there at home. When we have made it, we don't think of the people behind on our back doors. How can we uplift them? Instead, we build high fences around ourselves, protecting ourselves against ourselves, because those people outside are still yourself. Why? That's why we hear a cacophony of nuances, talks about what are you doing? You are going to put us in danger. There will be war. Ask yourself, how many fronts is there going to be for the so-called fractionalized Nigerian army? How many fronts? I bet you. Lord, don't marry, but with our own effort, without the knowledge, although we may have a little bit of fracas, but it will fizzle out. Then an acclamation. And like I said, we are not agitating. We are actually calling for the end of that country. And that's why I was talking to some young persons who called me. I try to keep fit to be able to answer every call of anyone, anywhere, from anywhere in the world. Ready. Even if it's Buhari, the current president that wants to call me, I'm ready to listen to him. Just like he refused to listen to in an Al Jazeera interview. He refused to see why are people. He said because 2 million people died. Well, he's right about the statistics during the Biafran War. Why are they standing up now? That means the Biafran War has not solved the problem that caused the war in the first place. So that you should be able to think beyond the box. And those of you who listened to him and you thought that he said something useful, no. There's a problem, an unsolved problem. The problem of identity, this problem of sovereignty. And that is why one of my speeches, I think Ade Thomas recorded it, I was listening to it, I just decided to start to listen to my past recordings. I said that I will prove it to the whole world that with this right, Nigeria does not have any strategic role to play in terms of the people in Nigeria. I don't know what strategic role is it going to play internationally when the people in the country are fractionalized, they are debased. A city like Lagos will not have electricity. What strategic importance is that to the international community? And most of the young men and women in that same country are running to your countries. And you say the country has a strategic importance because you think perhaps the Fulanis are going to run. They know where they belong. It's an extension of their original aim to extend empires, a colonial empire of the Fulanis. So we don't want to be part of it. Start a long time. The way they go about as thieves in the night, that was how they killed the king of Gobe and turned the town to a new city called Sokoto. God forbid that they will come to my land and turn and change the names of our cities. Ibadan is Ibadan. Eko is Eko. Ogbomoso is Ogbomoso. Ajebandele, which is also a town in the river area around Okitipa, will still be Ajebandele. Okeluse will still be Okeluse. Emure will still be Emure. Not any Fulani name. They have done that successfully in some areas of the Benue Plateau. But that will never happen in our land. On the guise of the Serikis setting that as if they are kings in our land, they're just ambassadors of their people. They held my allegiance to you in the south. They don't obey the law of the land. You know that. But they know their aim and objective. Under Bacha, there was almost a move to have an emir in Lagos. In Ibadan. It was stopped. Even by themselves, it was a frightening objective. They still aim to do it. If we keep quiet and say we are ringing the bell of Nigeria, Nigeria must pay, it's indivisible. The thing that was divided right from the beginning, even as amalgamation, it was still divided. Check the records. It was still divided. The different administrations took care of themselves. All that happened was that Lugard was doing a yo-yo, head-to-head journey from the south to the north, north to the south, taking money from the south to take to the north. We became the piggyback of northern problems right from 1906. Is that what somebody will tell me that Nigeria is indivisible? It was already divided. We've only been packing up with some spurious constitutions that never worked well. The independence constitution was jettisoned before you know it in 3 years. And then we had what they call Republican Constitution. And on and on. Are we to live for constitution or the people to decide what they want? What intellectual somersault do we have in our brains? Are we living for the constitution? It is sad. Wake up, Ọmọ Yorùbá. Èèyàn mi gbogbo lágbàáyé, gbogbo àgbáyé, please wake up. And all those of our brothers and sisters in Brazil, in the Caribbean, in the Mexican lands, have to tell those ones that are around that just came that you want your homeland back. I know of some of you. There's a book, Mythologia du Orisha. I don't remember. The guy came to Ife. The writer is a professor of mythology and Yoruba race. His book is written in Portuguese. I hope he's still alive. He came to Ife and was trying to awaken the spirit of the ancient Yoruba race. But I think he failed. He met people who are not ready to see what he has seen. So he went back. I got that book from a colleague we were working. He believes so much in the Yoruba race. He has white skin. He says his forefathers are black from Brazil. And this all lost soul that we should allow to end up in floating limbo. What is wrong with us? And again, some people thinking that because they have the wherewithal, they can hijack the path to our freedom. We should see with one eye. When I say one eye, I think both eyes and all the eyes together, to see the picture ahead of us, to see the development that we can achieve under 5 years. And like I told all the women of all the Yoruba women, that their insistence on 3 major things: free health, free education, and water supply, which should lead to the fact that there must be electricity to pump this water. And that means the homes properly in the normal new 20th century habitation. Not the wretchedness we are living and we call homes. So tipon omi balùwẹ̀. Generator yẹn ṣe epo ìwà nù tank, reserve tank. It's not pride. I see some homes with large tanks of fuel. Oh God. This is such in Europe and America. That's not life. It's not life. Some of our young children don't even know how cocoa grows. Wọ́n tún gbé dé. Ìyẹn adélé àwọn agbé pé ọmọ mi ò gbọ́ Yorùbá. Èpè náà ṣèyẹn fún ra wọn, not the children. It's the saddest story I can ever think of. That a PhD man who speaks Yoruba to his colleagues will be telling you that ọmọ mi ò gbọ́ Yorùbá. That's another aspect of our trying to extinguish the Yoruba race. Some of us, we are not going to allow it. I'm getting more and more people to follow me into this glorious dawn. We are not going to allow the Yoruba race to be extinguished. No way. Because it's too important to all of us, not me alone. We should not be blind to that fact that they are trying to kill us gradually. Look at the roads. The few of the roads that Awolowo constructed with the solar model from Israel and the Tower by they are still existing and still working. After how many years? They were constructed before independence. One of them showed me one road that was 54 years old as at year 2000. Yeah, year 2000 when I went home. It was still solid. It had the 2 gutter construction on both sides, a primary gutter and a secondary gutter, to drain the road of heavy rainfall. We know we are in the tropical area. What do we have now? Wretched roads constructed as if the architects are people who have never gone to school. It's sad. It's not that we can't do it. It only requires for you to look back. What glory will I gain for constructing a road that will be swept away by rain in 2 years? There was a particular road between Oka and Ishwa that I used to travel when I go home. I calculate the years. Unfortunately, I missed out some years. I tell you, it's a very interesting story. The year I went on it, it was fully tied. 2 years to when I got back to some schoolboys were now using their shovel to fill the potholes. I was giving them change. Oh God, I said, 2 years ago, this road was fully tired. I was enjoying, and I was phoning my friend in Lagos. I'll soon get home and be eating pounded yam with my mom. 2 years later, I was on that road. It took me 9.5 hours to do a journey of 4 hours. Is that development? And that's the same way. Petition also did this analysis in one of his speeches. You will remember, I was in one of their, he said this, I keep record of some of the things I've had. If he doesn't remember and he's hearing me, I remember his complaint that roads were good at some point, that over the years, journeys that he could make for 4 hours, he's now making it to 9 hours or 10 hours.
Yes.
That's not a pride. Then this is why we have to sit back. Why is it happening? Do we take it and just live by it? We are committing a sin against ourselves. If we say have to live by it, just like most of us are living by it, by buying giant generators for our different homes, when there should be ready electricity supply. On our land, let's talk about the southwest. We got given free-flowing rivers that could be harnessed to give us electricity without spoiling the environment, the vegetational environment. What we need to do is to claim part of it, because the Lord God, the Bible said, make use of everything on earth as you deem fit, but don't spoil it. Why? The question is why. We should wake up now. We are calling for the dissolution of the amalgam, because it was wrongly and spuriously put together because there was some fees owed in South Africa, and because the home government has told you that they do not want to continue to feed the North from the Her Majesty's purse. That was just before, that statement was just before Queen Victoria died, and after that it became His Majesty's purse. So the South God took the burden, like I said earlier as I was speaking. We're paying £25,000 every month from every year from 1906 until 1913. And from 1913, the whole of the burden shifted to us. That £25,000 was to augment the 300 and something thousand pounds they were getting from the Her Majesty's purse, British taxpayers' money, as it was written down in the book, Administration of Nigeria from 1900 to 1960, by Ivan Question. And many other books. Look at Years of Authority from 1898 to 1945. Look at Years of Authority. And even Abubakar also made references to it in his biography by Trevor Clark. We just have to wake up. We can't just fashion. And I thank all those who turned up for the Ekiti rally. Sorry, my magic box just answered me. Let me stop it from talking. Just a minute. Was calling her.
Okay.
Stop.
So
So I'm back. The Alexa has stopped. This is the gadgetry in modern life. This is what I want our people also to enjoy at home. Of course, we have enjoyed it in reverse before. We had the rediffusion in our homes. The rediffusion gave us music, gave us knowledge, gave us everything. Then the television came. We already were advanced before all these things came. But we have lost everything. And just like I told somebody, by the Independence Day, Western region was seriously undermined by the fact that Awolowo was just shunted as one of those common visitors to the putting down the flag. That's the way I describe it. If you check, I have documents on that. I could send it to you, and then you can gladly send it to other people if they want to read it. And my conclusion about it. And one Oshinowo, a young man who was murdered later after 5 years of his life from 1960, when he complained that Nigeria is not for the Yoruba race. A lot of us have seen it. Even when I was young in the primary school, I saw it that place should not exist. So, I thank every one of you that turned up at the Ekiti rally.
Wow.
And I saw that there was another rally in Efalaye, I believe, if it was Efalaye.
In the whole of Ekiti State.
For standing up for, because I saw some placard or maybe people from Efalaye was in the Ekiti rally. I don't know, but it was a massive rally. Perhaps, like you said, the rally was divided into two parts. I don't know why, but what is the aim? The same aim is to call for the
Baba, it was successful.
It was all successful. I understand that it was successful. I saw that. And my friends in the US, they want the copies of it that I should send to them. I will do that tonight. And the ones in Japan, I will send copies to them to see, to give them the air of hope that our call, like I keep on saying, for the dissolution of the Amalgam. I want the international community to hear that we are calling for the dissolution of the Amalgam. It has dragged us down collectively. The Igbos, the Yorubas, the Fulani, and our development has been stunted. What we are seeing in Nigeria now is no development. And perhaps some of the current advert about the new railway thing, and you ask, when they say it, is go back and say, Bolowa, Shantishini. It's not open, it's not there. It's just pure propaganda to confuse people's mind. One of them, they said the red line will come on because they are going to use the already laid down Nigerian railway track, and so it will take about some $2 billion, and is it 2 billion, something like that? It was today I was listening to it, and that it's going to come on stream by 2022. Who are we deceiving? The one they started since 2010 or earlier than then, when they started they turned the sword to start it. I was so proud then that during my conference attendance in the railway development in Birmingham and in Escort, we were proud to tell our fellow railway engineers and friends that, you see, the Lagos Metro will soon be on stream by the end of 2011. We are in 2021. We have not had the tutu of any railway. I don't know, those of you at home, is there any railway running on the blue line from Mile 2 or from Badagry side to Lagos Island now? Are there any rolling stocks already shipped in? I'm joking. Well, there's none. Why are we deceiving ourselves? All because of politics, the politics of accommodation that has dragged down our civilization. I said to someone that, to me, Nigeria died in 1962 when an administrator was sent to Western Nigeria. The whole Nigeria died. We have just been struggling to preparing for his burial service, and then we now, at one time, we will say, oh, these dresses are not good enough. That's in terms of the 1964 election. And then we manage it up. Then the army comes in. Oh, we have not even got the right thing. It's corrupt. So let's shift the burial forward. Oh, I mean this. Then we have the UPNDC. The spurious 12 to 3rd came up. Oh, that one, actually, that too. Then I took fire, yeah. And then Shagari ruled. And then when they saw that perhaps Shagari was going to hand over to the South, they came pretending that nothing was good. And And therefore, we went further, and now we are coming to the end of the theater. I believe this is why we are now calling for a final nail in the coffin. And this is why we are saying we are calling for the dissolution of the amalgam. It's going to benefit all of us separately and collectively. That we, the Yoruba nation, the Hausa Fulani Islamic Arewa Republic, the Igbo nations, the Ijaw nations, when they stand, they will now stand to compete heavily in terms of developing their structures. First of all, the critical infrastructure that will carry the products of development within and without. These are the great things that are going to happen. And everybody will say, the board of Kenya, that's the joy I want to see in the eyes of the African. That when Obasanjo was recording me in the 90s, I talked as if I'm with him in the sitting room that the African race will never develop unless Nigeria is dissolved. And the rest of Africa will be looking at us that we are patching up. Is this patch up that we are going to eat? Look at Africa. There's no peace anywhere. Even there are similar places that are peace. There's no good governance. Governance is done on the basis of who you know. And that is because the people you are talking to are not my people. They are from that nationality. Just like the two young men from BT, communication engineers, went to Nigeria and wanted to help to restore the net so that they can start. That was the beginning of this mobile phones. Nigeria could have been one of the places that mobile phone was introduced first. But what did Abacha tell them? Where are you from? We are Yorubas. We don't want your service. That's a fact. This is what that type of life we are going to continue. Or people who do not know our land are controlling our land. Look at the Lagos port. Where has any time the Yoruba man has headed the Lagos port? I know some who will get to the edge of being head. One Mr. Bamishaye, a comptroller in those days, never got to the top. They will not. They will rather ask them to train their seniors or their juniors to become their senior. Same thing happened to my in-law in Nitel, in Abuja, or before they moved to Abuja. He's a very brilliant telecommunication engineer. He trained all his bosses. Is that the kind of country we should continue to have? Some of you know what I'm saying. Why do we condone it in the first place? Why should we be Ashajeon? There's still more to say. Let me stop so far. And once more, I thank all those who came out for the Ekiti rally. It was beautiful. And I thank them also for paying homage to the way of identity before the rally started. That is how we should be respecting our Obas in the future. Because we are going to make them not to be partisan persons. They are going to be arbiters of democracy. We shall not corrupt them to say, come and support me, and if you don't support me, I'm not going to pay your salary. Their salary should be a different thing. It should be a fixed thing under our new constitution. Whatever Oba is there, as long as it represents the origin of our land. I told one about the Secretary General of the Obas, about the diaspora, the Lojudo of it also. He's a great man. He had been going around Yoruba land and talking to them about the need for a Yoruba nation. Ever before we started all this movement. That's why I said, all of us should not start to condemn the others. They are being methodical, they are taking their time, because we cannot put them in a place where some goons will come and mess them up. It will be a sacrilege on Yoruba land. Look at the sacrilege that was conducted in Ifon. I still can't get over it. It's sad. And that was how I warned at one time when Olufalaye was captured. I wrote to some of our leaders that, is this how we are going to keep quiet? And they are testing the ground to see if we are going to react on this situation. We didn't. They are embodied now. They are in our forest. And then the survey they had done since 1800s and then confirmed in 1970s, they are using that corridor because there's no large irrigation lands that is going to stop them. And the irrigation land that were deliberately stopped from being kicked to start. And some of our young men and some others were made to write some stupid papers on your dam that is not a viable thing. I can't imagine any dam in the world, somebody, it's not that it's broken. Unfortunately, it was well built on the basement complex rock. And somebody, some young Akowe, if you had allowed the water, if you have put boats on it and funded fishermen to be fishing and stock it, would there be any stagnation? Would there be any unnecessary overflow that is flooding Lagos if the dam is used? It's supposed to provide water for Lagos and the Abeokuta. And when the waters arrives around Lagos, several reservoirs were being built and treatment plants to accompany it, instead of this dirty atmosphere of borehole towers all over the place. That's no civilization. I don't know how you take it. It borders on wretchedness, even though you think you have money, even though you have some big mansions. And even these mansions you put in cages, called fences around, and the large doors, the doors that have been melted up to make a part of fridges and other industrial goods. They are living in a prison yard called a country. It's no longer once upon a time. It's a real thing. And people are just called home, like Koko, and I was told I wanted somebody to go from Owo to Ilesha. Kò ṣeé rìn o. Àwọn arábí tí ń dúró dè àwọn èèyàn lọ́nà o. Is that what we should be hearing? We are no longer free. And yet some of our people we expect to be intellectually wise enough to know the truth are still saying that we are doing the wrong thing. No. Maybe that reminds me of the young two sisters, one of them who lost her life in Lagos, all because their mom did not quickly wire money from US to the hospital where this girl was sick. She died. Oh. Is that the kind of experiences we should be having? I know that family, I commiserate with them. Each time I think about it, I feel sad. Why? Because these kids were happy to come home on their own for the first time. They came with the parents at one time, then they said that we are grown up now, let us go and enjoy Lagos. What happened? Only one of them went back to the US. For you, those parents, I still feel your pain every day I talk. I remember it. I hope you stand with the Lord to bear this loss. because by the grace of God, we are going to create a new avenue for the joy of our land to come back, so that your last daughter will be able to come back home.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
And your other parents, so that they have the joy to come to our homeland. Our homeland is not secure. We are in a prison yard. That's why we are calling for the dissolution of the amalgam from source.
Wow.
It's no longer a thing to be stopped. It's going to happen. What we are waiting for is when we are going to collectively, all Yorubas now, after all these rallies, to now say we are now calling for that dissolution. Which Papa Adeniro wrote a book on it and was bought by the Federal House. About 360 copies were bought from him, and it says the case for the peaceful dissolution of Nigeria. And that peaceful action is what the Yoruba race is following now. We are not carrying guns. We are not carrying cutlasses like our enemies trying to browbeat us into silence. And by the way, last year, was it last year or Facebook removed President Trump's handle from, and then I think also Twitter. Did the American president ban Facebook and Twitter? That's no, that's a civilized country. No matter what, and they felt the statements by the president was incisive. The same thing happened now with our current most high exalted president and his presidency team thinks it wise to say they are banning Twitter. It's an insult on our sensibility. It means we are still living in the Stone Age, or perhaps we are living in a feudal oligarchy and a dictatorial representation. I think that's what we are living in. We can't talk. Everything the president does is law. He started building railways to Niger, pipeline to Niger, oil refinery in Niger, without express order from the house. What are the house sitting down there? And they are asked to approve those expenses. They approve it. So it means there's a branch of Niger government in Nigeria already. So it means Nigeria and Niger has become one country. That literally. So that's why I'm saying that map is very important, because for all actions taken, Nigeria and Niger are now one country. After all, some of their governors came to Nigeria to campaign for Buhari. Did the governors or the governors or mayors of London go to campaign in America? Campaign.
The stupidity of the eye is not that long.
What is wrong with our people who are in government? Is it that it's too difficult for them, or they think perhaps if they leave, they are going to lose a lot? It's just going to be a temporary setback before they start to get whatever they think they should get. And then maybe this time it's not going to be like all the spurious payments they get, and that when you retire, you see, they take care of their own retirement. What of the people? The social network they provide for themselves. What of the people they are supposed to be ruling? Are they ruling in the sky, or is there another country where they exist that they don't see wretched people around them? It blows my mind. And unfortunately, a few of these wretched people will still be running out to them. Whereas the contemporary freedom is that should be yours, is with them. May the gracious Lord, I keep on saying, Olódùmarè, kó ṣí wa níyè, kó là wá lójú from the darkness in which we have been prodding all these years, so that we can see the light. Ìmọ́lẹ̀, àlà, ìyè tó jẹ́ tiwa láti bẹ̀rẹ̀. Kí wọ́n sọ wá di ènìyàn. A fẹ́ sọ ènìyàn nù. A fẹ́ di kíní yìí. Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ kán pè mí kíní yìí o. Ọlọ́run kó má jẹ́ kán pè any one of you ní kíní yìí. Àwọn tó ń gbọ́ mi àtàwọn tó ń gbọ́ mi, ọmọ Yorùbá kankan kò gbọdọ̀ padà sí ipò pé kíní yìí ènìyàn ni wá. Èèyàn alálà. Èèyàn lóye. Ẹ má jẹ́ àgbàdo. Ẹ ṣé.
Ọlọ́run á gbà fún wa bàbá. Mo dúpẹ́ pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ yín fún gbogbo àlàyé tẹ́ ṣe nítorí pé ọgbọ́n yín láéláé kò ní dìbàjẹ́, òye tí Elédùmarè fún yín kò ní dohun ìgbàgbé nítorí pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọ̀nà rẹ ti fi kọ́ wa ní nǹkan kan tàbí ìkejì. Inú àwọn ọmọ yín dẹ̀ ń dùn ní gbogbo ọ̀nà fún ohun tẹ́ ń kọ́ wa àti bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń là wá lóye àti bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń ṣàlàyé nǹkan fún wa tí gbogbo ẹ̀yin yọjú tó ń yé wa yékéyéké. Ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi káàkiri orígun mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin àgbálá ayé, bàbá wa Alex Ajala, àwọn ni wọ́n wà ní ojú ọpọ́n. Ẹ lè tẹ̀lé wọn lórí Facebook, wọ́n wà lórí Facebook, káàkiri tí ẹ sì fi Twitter wọn lẹ̀ náà for now. Bàbá táwọn èèyàn bá fẹ́ tẹ̀lé yín lórí Facebook, ẹ jọ̀ọ́ kí ni àkọlé tí àwọn èèyàn lè wá? Alex, nǹkan kan wà láàrin ẹ̀.
Alex kan ni mo fi ṣe Facebook o, but Ajala ṣì ní surname mi.
Okay.
Olúwọlé
Olúwọlé, yes.
Olúwọlé Forítì Àjàlá.
Okay.
Forítì, ó yẹ ká ẹ rántí.
Nítorí pé kì í ṣe bíbá ẹnìkan ni bàbá ti máa ń ṣe program, wọ́n ní oríṣiríṣi program. Kò dẹ̀ ń ṣe bíbá ẹnìkan lẹ ti lè gbọ́ wọn. Nǹkan tí mo ṣe ń emphasize lórí platform ti bàbá gbogbo nìyẹn, so that the learning can be continuous. It doesn't have to be about heritage alone. It can be any other platform. And if anybody wants to bring Baba Ajala to their platform, please go to his Facebook, send him, inbox him a message, and that will be fine. If not, contact me at Heritage. I will link you up with Baba. If anybody wants to speak to Baba,
you can give them my number, my second number.
Okay, that shouldn't be a problem.
That ends with 7424.
Okay, I will try and write it in the comment section so that Baba, people can actually contact Baba. The more people that contact Baba, the better it is for us, because that will enlighten us more, and we want more people to see things.
And for those who have not copied it, if I can dictate the number to you,
because please dictate the number. I was looking for it before.
Person to everyone worldwide. It's if we are called the international version of it, is +44 7862 03 7424.
Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí bàbá.
+44 7862 03 7424. You can reach me anytime.
Ẹ ṣé gan ni bàbá wa, adúpẹ́ pọ̀ ní pé gbogbo gbàtà bá pín in, gbogbo gbà yẹn náà lẹ́kùn máa ń jẹ́ wa. Ọlọ́run àánú, gbogbo gbàtà bá gbàdúrà sí tí ẹ bá pe Ọlọ́run àánú, gbogbo gbà náà ni Ọlọ́run máa jẹ́ yín náà nítorí pé.
I want even my friends like the great General Olusegun Obasanjo to reach out to me too. We have a discourse that we have not finished.
Okay.
He knows this.
Thank you, sir. Okay, ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi.
And people like Akiniade, he doesn't have my current number. General Akiniade.
Okay.
We used to talk before.
Can you please dictate the number one more time, Baba? Please do the number one more time, sir.
+44 78 62 03 74 24.
Okay. Ẹ ṣé gan ni bàbá, mo dúpẹ́ pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ yín bí ẹ ṣe bá a yànnàná aago yẹn.
I'm seeing on my screen a lot of people calling for friend requests now. That is good.
That's good. That's good because that will give us more information, more
I will
knowledge.
accept them all because it's running on my screen.
Okay.
I can see it. After this, maybe tomorrow morning or even tonight before I sleep, I will just accept them. But this is another one. You met to Matthew. Wherever, even if it's a Hausa person, I don't care. I want to speak to everyone. Let them wake up. After I've been in contact with the Emir of Kano, the late Adobairo, I told them the same thing that I'm telling you, that there's no point to keep on my patching up Nigeria. I should bury it. Let us start afresh. Let them have their Islamic Republic in the north. We have our dual republic down here. And the Igbos will have their Igbo in the Igbo country, and then the others. Because the reality is that we are all going our separate ways, but we are all going to start developing more rapidly than this trap, the prison yard we call a country, in which you are all living in. If we don't realize it, we are living in a prison yard. Before you go home, you'll be thinking of, hey, Taluma Akademi, Emi o gbọ́dọ̀ dé Nigeria lóru, traffic o gbọ́dọ̀ mú mi o. You know, that headache love can give you hypertension in your me. Me too, I'm scared to go home. Not because perhaps our command move me, but the comfort of being able to move around, to see oh. I wish for my people. I don't know. Many years we used to travel and we are joyfully driving. That reminds me of the Lagos airport. There are some years when I'm traveling, I sometimes I will remember, okay, the road must have been done now. 2 years time is bad. We have to go through potholes from international airport. Those of you who know what I'm talking, remember this. What him asked for, there was a day a guy saw his friend off to flying to London. The guy in the plane from British Airways had arrived in London, and the other one who saw him off is still on the road going home. Is that the kind of flight we want? These are facts. It's not about politics. It's about our future. I'm not interested in APC or PDP. There are spurious organizations that don't have any. When it comes to election time, because the people are hungry, they now start to serve little quantities of rice. So one young lady was describing this to me, because I always, before I say anything, I find out what was it. I want to feel little quantities that will serve for just the day, or sometimes maybe it may last about 2 or 3 days. And that's the election vote, and you go and vote. If it's for me, rice or PDP for me, no. Well, the reverse is the case here. It's the people that give parties money to contest election. So the question is, where did all these parties get the money they use in bribing the citizens to vote for them? Every 4 years, that's the time àwọn kan ṣẹ̀bẹ̀ sí sọ́ra. Tí election bá tọ́ wọ́n tún ti rò padà. And they cannot do anything about it because the critical infrastructure for them to be able to do it is not non-existent. And because they can't even go to the hospital. They can't, because if they go, there's no money to pay for their even card before seeing even the doctor. What happens? I surmised èèyàn gbọ́dọ̀ ṣàìsàn nílé o tó bá lówó ẹ̀. tó bá ṣàìsàn just rántí pé that's the end.
True.
Is that the kind of life we should continue to inherit? I'm asking for my knowledge young men and women all over the world that are listening to me. Is that the kind of life we want to inherit? We look down on our fellow beings, whereas Atapata dìde lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa. No. I can't, and I believe you all can't accept this to continue. Please don't anybody tell you that we are calling for secession or separation. We are calling for the dissolution of the place. After all, the persons who put it together, that it was a temporary affair in the first place. Check the records. We maintained it. The South maintained the country. The North makes use of it. The South maintains it. It's like somebody cuts the grass for people to go and play polo. We maintain it, or to play golf. We maintain it, to clean it. Oh, very nice, smooth grass and so on. Then some people come and play it. So the South is the grass cutter. The North is the user of the field, and that's what has been happening. Fault me. Please fault me. Am I lying to you? Haven't we been cleaning up for them to make use of? The oil blocks in the South, 83% of it belongs to the North. They proudly say it, we own everything in Nigeria, so you cannot do anything. You cannot go away. Who tells you that? I've told you, carry the central bank to your place, carry everything, but we are going to start from scratch and we're going to develop. Under 5 years, those things you have carried will be in volumes and ours will be growing. I said no more.
Ẹ ṣeun bàbá wa. A dúpẹ́ pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ yín fún gbogbo àlàyé tí ẹ ń ṣe fún wa, nítorí pé àwọn àlàyé yìí ó ń jẹ́ kí nǹkan máa yé wa sí ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀. Ọlọ́run àánú á gbọ́ àdúrà yín ní gbogbo ọ̀nà. Ojú òde ní tí yín ẹ ṣe débi èrè. Gbogbo ẹ ṣe kọ́ lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ yìí nínú wa náà dùn pé bàbá wa ń kọ́ wa lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ tó yè kooro, kì í ṣe ẹ̀kọ́ fake, kì í ṣe ẹ̀kọ́ tí ò ní jẹ́ kéèyàn débi téèyàn lọ, ṣùgbọ́n ẹ̀kọ́ tó yè kooro. Ọlọ́run á túbọ̀ máa fi ìmọ̀, ọgbọ́n àti òye kún ọgbọ́n yín ní gbogbo ọ̀nà. Ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́. Ọlọ́run á gba àdúrà yín. Kí a tó máa lọ, mo fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ díẹ̀ lórí àwọn ètò tí a ní. Àwọn èèyàn kan sọ fún mi pé ọlọ́pàá ń dà kí a recruit more people. Yes, we want to recruit more people, but we don't want to just recruit without looking after them. And kò dẹ̀ ń ṣe recruit yẹn gangan ló matter, bí kò ṣe pé gbogbo bí a ṣe máa ṣe ètò yẹn. Ẹ ṣáà mọ̀ pé gẹ́gẹ́ bí mo ṣe sọ, kì í ṣe pé àkàn gba irú wa ògiri wa ni à ń gbà sí ọlọ́pọ̀ndà. Àwọn tí ó bá ká ojú òṣùwọ̀n ni à ń gbà sí ọlọ́pọ̀ndà. Gbogbo ẹni tí bá dẹ̀ fẹ́ ran ọlọ́pọ̀ndà lọ́wọ́, torí ìbéèrè kan tí mò ń béèrè lẹ́nu ọjọ́ mẹ́ta ni pé àwọn tí àwọn owó tá à ń dá yìí ìdá mélòó nínú rẹ̀ ni à ń lò fún ààbò. Ìdá mélòó ni à ń lò fún ààbò nínú àwọn owó tá à ń dá yìí. Owó tí ẹ bá fún ọlọ́pọ̀ndà, maybe 200% of it ni à ń lò fún ààbò. Nǹkan tí mo sọ pé 200% ni pé ìtẹ̀yìn dá, ìtàwá náà bá fi kún àwọn ọlọ́pọ̀ndà gbogbo fúnra wọn, ìtọ́ bá fi kún gbogbo ẹ̀ ni à ń lò fún ọlọ́pọ̀ndà. Bí mo dẹ̀ ṣe sọ ní àìpẹ́, mo ní ní máa sọ pé nǹkan báyìí lọ́lọ́pọ̀ndà ṣe. Ẹ̀yin fúnra yín lè máa rí nǹkan tí ọlọ́pọ̀ndà bá ṣe fúnra yín. Lè máa rí nǹkan tí ọlọ́pọ̀ndà bá ṣe àti iṣẹ́ tí wọ́n bá ṣe. Ẹni tó bá fẹ́ ran ọlọ́pọ̀ndà lọ́wọ́, ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ibi tẹ́ ẹ máa lọ ní www.oloponda.org oloponda.org. Èèyàn kan ti béèrè pé ọ́ọ̀lì ló yẹ kí n kọ, ṣùgbọ́n tẹ́ bá lọ kẹ ọ́ sínú kíní ọ̀hún, mi mọ̀ bóyá ó máa gbé nǹkan kan jáde. Nítorí ẹ̀ la ṣe mú kó rọrùn fún wa pé OPO ni a máa fi ṣe. Ibo ni àmì tó wà nídìí odò kejì sálọ. Ẹ má wọrí, a máa mú wa padà ní àìpẹ́ yìí. ọlọ́run àánú á dẹ̀ gbà fún wa. Mo dúpẹ́ pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ̀ ń bá mi ṣe kinní náà. Ọlọ́run á dúró tì yín, ojú òní tì yín. Ibí ni a máa fi àdàgbà ètò ti àṣálẹ́ ìrọ̀ sí títí di ọ̀la ní agbára ọlọ́run tí a tún pàdé lórí ètò míì. Mo kí bàbá wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé wọ́n ṣeun lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀, àdúpẹ́ pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ wọn nítorí pé gbogbo bàtà bá ń pè wọ́n náà ni wọ́n máa ń jẹ́ wa. Wọn ò wò pé ọmọ kékeré ni wá, wọ́n fi ọmọ kékeré yẹn kan ní ìmọ̀ táwọn nìkan ni wọ́n fẹ́ fi rẹwà jẹ. Ṣùgbọ́n ọlọ́run àánú á máa bá mi dúró tì wọ́n. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí mo ṣe sọ, Facebook bàbá, ẹ tó bá fẹ́ di ọ̀rẹ́ bàbá lórí Facebook, ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́, nítorí pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ní ìgbà ni bàbá máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ ní orí àwọn ẹ̀rọ míì tó yẹ pé kì í ṣorí. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n sọ kíni kan fún yín o. The more places you go to listen, the better it is for us. Tí n bá parọ́ fún yín, ẹ lè tètè mọ̀ pé arákùnrin tó ń jẹ́ heritage òun parọ́ pa ṣége. Ṣùgbọ́n tẹ bá mú ìmọ̀ bíbá yìí, tẹ bá mú ìmọ̀ lọ́hùn, kẹ mú para mọ́ra wọn. Sister mi, ẹgbà ń tẹ ọ̀dà náà. In tó ń bọ̀ níjọ́ Monday àbí Tuesday, I think Tuesday, ibo lọ́jà yín dé pàápàá gan-an ní Netherlands ní Belgium. Kò ní tó bá dọ̀dọ̀ yín ẹ wo, tẹ bá fẹ́ sí ngbà yẹn ẹ wá lè ọ̀dà sí. Bọ́ ẹ kọ́kọ́ gba ìtẹ ọ̀dà náà kẹ́ẹ̀kan tí ẹ wo bó ṣe rí. Àti pàápàá gbogbo àwọn tí mo jẹ ní aṣọ tí mi tí ì fi aṣọ wọn ránṣẹ́, ẹ má bínú sí mi, iṣẹ́ tẹ gbé fún mi náà ló pọ̀ nítorí pé rally ń bọ̀. Àdẹ̀fẹ́ kí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn kó jáde ní kan túyáyá kan wá bá wa ṣe. No, Quick is my brother. Sincerely, he's my brother. Sometimes we just have to speak out things so that we can iron out issue. That is why I speak out, because when I had what happened, I wasn't very happy with it. And sometimes when they put something in the media, you need to actually correct it in the media, because if you don't correct it in the media, people will think it is the right thing to do. I want to thank every one of you for your support, for your kindness. I am not saying you are not important. You guys are very, very important. But ẹni tí ó bá ní gbọ́ nǹkan tá à ń sọ, mo bẹ̀ yín, àbí ẹni tí bá yẹ pé one way traffic ni, tèmi nìkan ló gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe nínú wa. No, I don't want that. If I'm wrong, please tell me. If you are wrong, I will tell you. Because if I'm wrong and you're not telling me, between my wife there and like you, ọlọ́run má jẹ́ ká wá ara wa sínú òkun. Ṣùgbọ́n tí n bá ti ń ṣiṣẹ́ tí mi ò ṣe dáadáa bó ṣe yẹ kí n ṣe, tẹ́ bá ń sọ fún mi, right? Kíní ọ̀hún á tètè lójútùú. Ẹ jẹ́ ká máa gbára wa nímọ̀ràn títí di ọ̀la ní agbára ọlọ́run tí ẹ ò tún rí mi ní orí ètò míì. Ire o àti ayọ̀ àti àlàáfíà kò ní wọ́n nínú ilé ẹnìkọ̀ọ̀kan nínú wa. Ó dàbọ̀.
Ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa, ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ jùmọ̀ kọ orin ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Àwa ni ògo adúláwọ̀.